Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I actually lost track of time. I was sitting in the charts with the trading group, and I just didn't even realize it was past time. So I'm going to get my suit on, get ready as soon as I can. We should be able to start in about 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll start about maybe just a couple minutes later than 10:10. Have no stress. I got this. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Bitcoin with a bit of a pump here, 71,005. Holding us down. Let's see what happens as we continue. Bang, bang, bang. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to everybody here. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Shout out to my beautiful people here. Let's take a look at what's happening. So last night, remember, I had this feeling that we were going to pump on the 1 hour, and I decided to get in right here. We went up, down, up, down, up, down. Then this morning, I moved my stop loss above break even because it just looked insane. Thought I moved my stop loss above. I did. It was, oh no, yeah, that was on RAVE. But my stop loss is right here. At about 70,758, and we came within, look at that, we went to 70,776. I was literally $16 away from getting stopped out. I mean, it would have been an epic long to enter right there. And now all of a sudden, I was up 350, 360, 400, now 200. It's crazily volatile today. I didn't expect this massive pump, but I did. I was hoping for the 200 to hold us down, and it did so far. Let's take a look at the bigger picture for Bitcoin and break it down for you like we do every day. Then we had the model, which came up, came down. I told you guys not to trust the model on Monday mornings. Monday is treachery, absolute insanity. How was your weekend? Hope you had a wonderful day, a wonderful Saturday and Sunday. I have a horrible sun fever. Something's up with me. Took my gains as soon as Bitcoin hit the 15-minute 200 MA. Nice gains. Thank you, Sammy. It did hit the 15-minute 200 moving average. We got a nasty rejection from the 15. We were away from the 21. We got a pretty good pump there. Is this sustainable? Can we hang above the 200 on the 1 hour and get back above? And you can see shoulder, head, right shoulder, bit of an inverted headed shoulder there. That ended up playing out this morning. Okay. Back to the, but rejection by the 200 moving average and the POC, the point of control. Also previous resistance. You know, if you didn't know what the POC was, you sell at resistance. If you didn't know what your support of resistance, but you knew the 200 moving average, you sell there. If you didn't know either of them, but you knew how to use the VRP, you sell with the POC. If you know all three, then you're like guaranteed to know that that's a very, like, with almost 100% accuracy, that is going to be a rejection point, because that's just what happens. So look, we bounce off the 1 hour 200 to get rejected by the 15-minute 200. It's all about the 200. Don't you get it? We're inside of a 200 all the time. We're getting rejected. We're bouncing. It's constant. So that's the key. That's the key. Okay? So let's go. Let's keep moving. Oh, no. I just pulled out my cord. Oh, my glasses. It's insane today, man. Everything's falling apart on me. Things fall apart. The Roots. I love that album. Anyway, let's take a look at what's happening here on the monthly. We're going to do our top-down analysis right off the bat. And then I'm going to watch like the 5-minute time frame. What you want to see now is you want to see the 5-minute flag out here above the 200, touching the 21. This is a good chance that we actually could get what I call the model. The Sam Price Wham. I gotta come up with a cool name. I call it the Johnny Cash. There you go. This is called the Johnny Cash. All right, I just made it up. I love Johnny Cash, so this is called the Johnny Cash. When the 21 touches above the 200, we get in and we get that Johnny Cash, man. So Johnny Cash, I call my model the Johnny Cash. All right? I just made it up. I just coined it. I just stole Johnny's name. Johnny Cash. So whenever we get above the 200, the 21 starts to loom into price action, we get a bit of a flag. I call it the Johnny Cash, named after, or the Sammy Cash. Saw that sign, finally made it to Sarasota, so hoping it will arrive. That's crazy, man. Isn't that crazy? Like, you were like, it will get there by Monday. It's like never. So insane. Yeah, your perfect pattern and trade setup. It's pretty beautiful. Yeah. We already have the model, but a dolphin dip. The dolphin dip gives me a lot of faith for more upside. Yeah, a little dolphin dip. Boom, boom. Because the dolphin goes down, but then he always has to come back up to breathe. That's why we call it the dolphin dip. So yeah, we're waiting to see if the 5-minute can pay us, man, and send us to 72.5 and really get me paid here, and I can actually make a beautiful trade. I've been in the trade since last night. We're going to see how it plays out. This has been up, down, and around. Remember, you make money by staying in the game, by persevering, by keeping it pushing. All right? Let's go, peeps. Oprimem il like mi gente. As stated by Sam, more in silence. Move in silence, baby. Yeah. This sign is a nice Trojan horse. Interesting. Trash to cash with Johnny Cash. You're funny. Let's go. I like the Johnny Cash. Yeah. So can we pull off Johnny Cash today? That is the model. I'm going to have my turmeric make me, hopefully it will kind of get me back up and running here. And then man, it was open when I shook it. It's just one of those days, man. Had brand new ties that looks like I may have just destroyed all of them. It's just one of those days, man. Imagine getting 4 brand new ties and then covering them with yellow, orange turmeric that like can't come off. Turmeric is like a very stained. My floor is orange, man. I can't even handle this anymore. Today is just one of them days, man. All right, whatever. Who cares? I'm blessed to be alive and I'm blessed to be here. All right. Pulling off Johnny sounds kind of wrong. I know, right? Why are you looking like Doctor Strange? I don't know. Who's Doctor Strange? How do I look like Doctor Strange? I got a certain accoutrement. A certain coat on. I said a shirt and a coat on. That's how insane I am right now. Instead of a shirt and a coat on. Like there's something wrong with my brain. Seriously. I wish I had gainitis. The price action is insane. Look at this up and down action here all day long. Let's take a look at the bigger picture. Heavy rejection by the 200. We got to get back above that to remain bullish. We got to get through this gap to the POC at 72,830. I just got to name the model something catchy, something fresh, something amazing. The Johnny Cash, right? One of them days, mine. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's go. I just feel horrible, man. My neck is on fire. And I wore a hat yesterday. I wore a water shirt. I stayed out of the sun as much as I could, but I guess the sun was so hot yesterday and so heavy. All you had to do was be slightly exposed, man. I feel like I got radiation. Like, I don't feel well. I feel like I got radiation. I don't. My whole body's on fire right now. My ears, my back of my neck. It's called the model, and look at it on the 1 hour. Thank you. It's an Aries backwards thing. It happens to me all the time, your money. Thank you for sharing your most precious asset with us, and that is your time. Thank you, too. The sauce. The proof of pump. I love it, man. So, look, the monthly, when we go really hard, has breached the trend line. Every single time the monthly has breached the trend line, it's been the beginning of a massive run. A lot of people don't want to look at the monthly. They don't want to give it any clout. But I'm telling you, man, look, I'll draw this trend. The second we were above it, we never went back below it. Second we were above it, we dipped a little bit, but we were gone. And the same situation here. Could this be the beginning of the next leg for Bitcoin? As Bitcoin heads all the way back up to $146,000 by December of 2026. That is the fastest that we could get there. The only problem is, or, con that I see here is we could be making a bit of a right shoulder here. It sends us to the downside. So I'm open-minded to it all. All right. Sun poisoning is a thing. I think I definitely got sun poisoned yesterday. I got sun poisoned like a week ago, too. See, the thing is, I was inside for 2 months. Remember, I couldn't really go anywhere. And I finally went out to the beach with my family, and I came home feeling sick and horrible. That was last weekend. Then I went out. Every time I've gone into the sun now, I've come home feeling horrible. And it's just not likely. It's not like I usually go into the sun, and I don't feel like this. So I feel absolutely horrible. Can you give me a hug, please? What?
Fan? Are you hot? You want the fan?
How hot am I?
You're burning hot, yeah.
See? My wife has verified that I am burning up like a... I don't want the fan. The fan, because when you're this hot, any type of cool makes me cold. Like, my body's so off.
I love you. I'll text you.
Who cares? I'll make it through, right? It's not the worst thing. 7,100 pivot point summer support is sitting here now. But I thought heat strokes when you're in the sun too much and then you get it. Like, I was fine last night. I got home. I did get into the jacuzzi. Maybe it's using the hot jacuzzi after the sun. Maybe I'm doing that and I shouldn't be doing that. Like, I get a sunburn, then I get in the jacuzzi. Like, my forehead hurts. Feels like it's burnt. It's called sunstroke. Yeah. Anyway. So the monthly looks pretty good. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's take a look at the 2 week. Dude, I was in a hat yesterday. I had a water shirt with the hood on. I had them both on. I was like, I stayed, I did everything I could. Yeah. Sounds like heat stroke. Heat stroke, I thought you collapse from heat stroke. Like you're outside and like you really just like, you can, I didn't collapse. I drove home. Everything was fine. You know what I mean? Cold plunge, brother. Yeah, just sit there and freeze my whole body down, right? Might be a good idea. Yeah. It's called first world problems. Yeah, exactly. No stress. That's how they cook lobsters, you know, right? Maybe Parasite, if he was out there peeing in the water. Oh my gosh, so it comes back inside? You got to go in an ice bath, not a jacuzzi. You're on fire, Sam. Yeah, no heat stroke would make you need sleep, exhaustion. I'm really tired too. Yeah, and I felt depressed this morning. Like I just didn't feel right. Like myself, I'm always ready to go. Today I did not feel that same. Anyway, who cares? People got to know that I'm ready to go. I can never reveal that I'm down and out. I always have to be the man. Don't freeze the peanuts. Hey. Depends on how bad. Interesting. It's from the sun for sure. I guess you just cook medium. You're still alive. Heat exhaustion. Consistency never rests. No. Went in on the 1 hour flipping green. Dude, are we still good? Oh, wow. We're pushing up now here. Up $315 in the trade. Come on, baby. Come on. It's cold hot mixer. Yeah. Maybe parasitic. I did eat a giant, 2-pound burger. And, meat from a. Anyway. HRV probably tanked last night for a heat stroke. You would feel your heart overworking. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Sammy, drink more electrolytes, more bone broth. Thank you. If you ain't dying, you're home. I love you, man. Someone poisoned you. They're trying to take out the sauce. You're funny. This guy, crypto weirdo, you're ridiculous. Guy, what he said, I can't believe that stuff. So 2-week chart, previous resistances support has been 1, 2, 3, 4 2-week candles have decided that we're not going to close below 65,000. I mean, that's a big deal. And now the next 2-week candle looks pretty strong. It has a tiny wick there, but it's big enough. And it's starting to move back to the upside. So the 2-week looks like it's going to head back to the 21-day moving average. It's just too far for the 21. Whenever we pump far for the 21, we come back to it. I would expect something. And what I'm looking for is this inverted head and shoulder on the bigger time frame. Right? We come up here, we make some type of inverted, and that gives us the move. So I'd love if we punch up, we get the dip down to the retrace at 80K, we get the bounce. We come to the 21, and it'll all work out. We're going to see it happen. It's going to be amazing. I remember last night, too. Remember on the stream, I was like, guys, I'm so tired. I have to get off the stream. And I love being outside. And now today, I don't want to go outside. It's like crazy, man. I love being outside. So look at this, man. Look at the week. The week has broken out as far as I'm concerned. That's a breakout on the weekly. You're outside of the trend line. Clear as day. Clear as Doris Day, right? So look, if we take a look here, it's a W pattern that a lot of people haven't paid attention to. It's a W, folks. I know you don't believe me, but it is a W. W's break up 68% of the time. If you're a simple man, you long here with a stop below here. Remember, I'm still in the monthly trade. I've never left the monthly trade. I opened it on March 10th. And I've been so positioned on this thing. Green April, I say, Trump tweeted or truth. You're funny. And we're going to take a look at the latest news here, too. Okay. I ask Grok every morning. So Iran news recap, April 13th. The fragile U.S.-Iran ceasefire is on the brink of collapse after weekend peace talks in Islamabad completely failed. Today, the U.S. is moving forward with a naval blockade on the Iranian ports and the Strait of Hormuz. A major escalation that could spike global oil prices and trap more shipping. So they agreed to 2-week ceasefire, April 10th, high stakes in negotiations. Today, President Trump announced U.S. Navy will immediately begin blockading all ships entering or leaving Iranian ports in the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM confirmed it starts today. Enforced against vessels of all nations, not just Iran. Trump's stated goal, stop Iran from profiting off oil while the waterway stays contested. See? Call the blockade an act of piracy. Warning of retaliation, says Iran. Released new video of giving a last warning, but it didn't matter. We didn't move and they didn't do a dang thing. I'm not trying to be rude, but we decimated their navy at this point, so I don't know if they want to play games. The Strait of Hormuz carries 20% of the global oil. The blockade is already causing more tankers to reroute and turn around. And they're headed where? To the Gulf of America, where Trump has tons of oil waiting for them. And it's a higher and nice oil, too. It's that good, sweet American crude, baby. Israel backs U.S. move and continues its own operations, especially against Hezbollah in Lebanon. So Israel continues to bang Hezbollah. You know, I read Hezbollah was formed after a group of people were getting attacked. You know, I don't know if that's true. You know, I mean, you can get into it. But, you know, when they label Hezbollah in the news, it sounds like an organization that, I don't know. I can't even get into this stuff. NATO allies have refused to join the U.S. blockade. Yep. Russia offered to take Iran's enriched uranium as part of any future deal. Interesting. Like, we'll grab it. Bottom line, the 2-week ceasefire started with hope, has lasted less than a week. We're now in a high-stakes naval standoff in one of the world's most critical choke points. To me, it seems like it's going exactly the way Trump wanted it to go. You tell me. I don't know. And you're a Trump supporter. I voted for Trump. I did because he was before crypto. I have to be honest for you. But, you know, I'm never fully one person when it comes to politics. I am a true American, and I love my country. But I take every single day with a grain of salt, every single movement, every single politician, every single family, right? You know, they're doing what's best for them. I'm doing what's best for my family. It kind of is the way the world works. 5-day chart is getting rejected, but look, that is a bit of a cup and handle, is it not? For Bitcoin. There's your cup, there's your handle, and there's your measured move, which takes you right through here. Then you got this beautiful gap. And it's telling me that we could head right to 87,850 without a lot of issues, right? Exactly. This could end the petrodollar. Why not just buy from us like Trump said? Exactly. Yeah. I was looking at the W this morning. Yeah, I mean, it's there. It's clear as day. We've been talking about that W for a couple weeks now. 5-day chart just needs to get above the 200. It's the 5-day gets above the 200 moving average, folks. We have ourselves a massive move. Now, the one thing is, if you look at the 5-day, you could say, well, we're in a bear flag that could continue lower. And you're like, Sam, you were just bullish. You showed us so much. Now you're bearish. You're a flip-flopper. No, I'm a realist. I'm a chess player. I know when I play against a chess player, I don't tell myself, oh, he's definitely going to move the queen, then the king, then this, and then that. Because then if I prepare for that and he doesn't do that, what do I do then? Now I've lost a bunch of brain power. You know, so what I have to say is he could move anything. Let me try to create as many possible moves here, and then let me reassess, and then I'm going to go with kind of the probabilities that put themselves forth, right? So when it comes to trading, it's just like chess. If you tell yourself what the chess player across from you is going to do, then you're kind of already messed up. You know, your ability to win has already been curtailed. Wow, we're getting the pump today, folks. 5 minutes looking strong. 1 minute is in the model. This is a model on the 1 minute. It's technically a flag above the 200, touching the 21. By my calculations, this is supposed to pump. I don't know why. I don't have, you know, a bunch of students always ask me, Sam, why? Why does this happen? And I tell them it doesn't matter why it happens. We don't have to know why algorithms like to use the 21 and the 200. We just have to know that that's what they do. You know, the why really doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, we could say because years, this is how it's been going on for years, and then it got, translated into the algorithm. That's why if you trade, there's only so many things that price action can do. That's why whether you trade manually or with an AI bot, it doesn't matter. Like, people think an AI bot can win because it can go back and forth and make tons of little trades for way longer than you can. But it can't think for itself, man. When the market gets overheated, the AI bot's going to keep doing what it thinks it can do. Bots can get themselves underwater. Bots can get themselves in trouble. I got greedy with my Minotaur bot. I ran it all the way. I turned basically I got onto Bitcoin at 0.5, a whole Bitcoin when a Bitcoin was like 40, 50K. I threw it into the bot, let it run, and the bot turned it into 1.45 Bitcoin when Bitcoin went to 120,000. I'm sitting there on 180 grand. I started with 50K. How greedy was I? I let the bot keep running. The bot got itself underwater. It could have probably got itself out, but I didn't trust it. I didn't trust the bot. I should have just let it go. I think it'd be fine still, but I didn't trust it. I was, and my liquidation got very close to 66,000. So what I did is I shaved $12,000 off the position. I was up 30 grand. I shaved 12 grand to keep me up about 18,000. And then I had to pump about, 100 grand of USDC to keep the bot afloat. And so that's what I did. And so right now I have a liquidation at 23,000 for Bitcoin on that position. And I'm just going to have to wait till we get back to like 110 grand. It's crazy, right? And what I'm doing is, I'm using some other different ways to offset fees. RAVE could provide the interest on stablecoins because this has been approved by MiCA and EU. American tokens must wait because these tokens are under SEC, which must be approved first. That flows into China. Why don't you have any pants? It doesn't matter. I have pants on. Yeah, I have pants on. Why would you say that? I'm wearing pants, dude. This is crazy to suggest I don't have pants on. Absolute insanity. I have kids in my house. I wear pants, man. Yeah. Stop spreading rumors, Vegas. All right? I don't want to have to, have a celebrity boxing match. Nah, I love you, man. Dude, I better see you in Vegas. Watch, I guarantee the guy Vegas call, I'm going to get to Vegas. Oh, I'm not there today. I'm not in town for the week. You better be there. Vegas calls the guy who lives in Vegas, but every time you go, he says he's not there. I'm messing with you, man. Oil is abionic, always being made. Thank you. I like that. Wait, say you would have because you figured he might do something like this. No, because I was pro crypto and I didn't want to go to, I was like, the other side was going to actually turn me into something I don't even want to say. So yeah, I voted for Trump to save my own butt, dude. Like, let's be honest here. Like, I don't think you guys know what I've gone through in the last few years with Democrats, but it hasn't been the best time for me. So I love you all. I appreciate you all. But yeah, only whole meats like steak. 100%, man. I got you. Sam letting the Tyson out. Dude, I like this. So far, so good. I still can't believe I'm still in this trade. This trade has been treachery. That's why when I see people that make these big, giant gains, $1 million trades, all this stuff, they got to be hiding massive losses sometimes because there's no way you could take a big trade like this and not suffer a loss sometimes. I trade and I lose. You're going to lose. You know what I mean? So I'm always wary when I see these, people with big trades because I'm like, dude, I love that you won, but let's be real. Had it not gone your way, you would have taken a massive hit. I'm not into that. I'm into just taking small hits and then when I see the probabilities a little better, I just go extra hard. I think that's the only way to survive in this game. You know what I'm saying? But again, other people are better traders than me too. Maybe they're better at bigger positions. Let's just be honest. I've only been trading leverage for about almost 3.5, 4 years. I consider that still very, very basic. No, Trump has not destroyed my butt. No, my business has done amazing. It's been a very good regulatory climate for me. Yes. No, it has. That was the greatest thing ever, man. And my business has flourished. My ability to move around, everything is great. Yeah. And anyone could judge me all you want. I'm willing to tell you the truth. Most people won't even tell you the truth so you could judge them. So that's the one thing I want to talk about real quick. And then I'm going to jump back into the charts. This looks like it's going to break out, so I'm not like negating stuff. I'm showing you real-time progress right here in price action. I've already given you some hot sauce right here. I'm already in a live trade. There's not much more I can do for you. I've given you exact entries on trades, even live here. 21 above the 200. They do this trader 23 times. It don't. What is the reason? And everyone get right? I don't know. I'm opening shorts at 74K. Retest the upper resistance personally. I always hold spots, so I'm good with upside. I like that. Yeah. What about them Achilles tendon medical bills? They're great. What do you mean? $17,000. I think I paid $20 grand. I had no insurance. It cost me $20,000 to get my surgery. Yeah. 20K. Man, imagine that. I'm so blessed that God provided for me. I didn't have to stress 20K. But dang, man. That's crazy, right? Yeah, $20,000 my surgery, including, with like anesthesias and extra $2 grand. They hit you. I wanted to get this block that would numb my leg. I had to pay for that. That wasn't included. So they were going to leave me in serious pain for days if I didn't pay. You know what I mean? Oh, get him the block. So my wife was like, how much does he? I want to get him the best. They're like, well, he should get a block. He should get this. And then the surgery was $15,000, I believe. Yeah. Never mind PT a couple times a week. They're going to hit you with another 10 grand. It's free in 80% of the world, I know. Yeah, $20,000, dude. I got my leg cut open, dude. So I had to fall during pickleball, and it cost me 20 racks. Most people wouldn't survive, man. Most people wouldn't survive. Profane language not allowed in the chat, guys. Thank you. Yeah, we don't swear here. We just don't do it. Yeah, there's kids watching and ladies with respect for themselves, and a lot of people here on the channel that love life and happiness, and profanity just doesn't fit with the show. It's just not what we do here. So if you can profane, you can withstand from using profanity, 15K will put an American like me on the streets. I know. If I had insurance, my deductible would have been up to $5,000, right? And then they would have charged me $8 grand and only paid for half. And so I would have paid $12,000. And it wouldn't have mattered. You know what I mean? And then I would have to pay, and then I had to pay. So look at this. This is why I got rid of insurance real quick, and then I'm back to the charts. This is important because ever you're going to make money, you're going to start a family, and you got to understand how insurance in America works. So I was spending about $4,000 a month on insurance. All right, we cut it off in December, maybe even November. I think we cut it off. So look, December, January, February, March, April. That's $20,000 right there that I would have spent on insurance. You see? Then I would have got hurt. They would have made me pay a $5,000 deductible on my surgery. Then they wouldn't have covered the whole surgery. They would have paid for like 70%, and they would have probably had me for $5,000 or $7,000. So I'd be in right now after surgery $30,000, but instead I'm only in $20,000, and I'm not spending $4,000 a month. And so for the next 8 months this month, I'm going to save $32,000. So hey, I could. So you see how insurance is more expensive than not paying insurance? You see, I could do the math for you right here. Insurance is more expensive, man. Unless something crazy happens, I guess, that you hope, but it doesn't seem to make sense. You know? Exactly. So I'd rather hustle my butt off, work 7 days a week, and have so much money in the savings that I don't have to stress insurance. You see what I'm saying? And I pray God, lets me continue to do what I do. I never want to take advantage of this beautiful life that I have. Well, yeah, man, it's not easy. Then I came home. I went away this summer. I came home to $40,000 in damage. I suffered $60,000 and just strange, random. I had to spend $60,000 this year on my surgery and my floors being completely destroyed. The first 2 months home, I was in a construction zone. Yeah, no way. It's 4K. Never seen that. Yeah, 4K a month, dude. I have 5 kids. I have 3 kids, dude, and a wife. I have to pay for every one of them. They're all the dependent. My wife works for me. So I hate to say it, but I agree with universal health care. As long as you can pay separately for premium, better insurance. Yeah. $120 protected in hospital for a week will wreck you. It will. $4,000 was for your family, though, right? Not just you. Exactly, for my whole family. Yeah. Makes no sense. Well, we're getting the pump to the upside, folks. Daddy is kicking it, and we're getting paid in the shade. We can move the stop loss to break even now, so we can't lose any money. Sam Price again winning on the morning. I don't know how I do it. I also gave you guys an amazing trade on RAVE this morning. It wasn't amazing, but it did pump out the flag. And I'll show you, I was up 150%. Excuse me. My goodness. So rude of me. But I got in at 892. This thing ripped to like 967. I sold at 149% gains. Imagine making 149. It was up 100 at one point. And I got up 149%. Imagine making 149% today. Imagine making 460 today. That's an amazing amount of money off $1,000. Imagine you only had $1,000. And you were able to make $400 off $1,000. Look, I used $1,000 to make $400 today. I'm telling you guys, look, I got $25,000 in there, $26,000, but I'm not using all of it. I'm not going 30x leverage at $26,000 all in, baby. I'm telling you right now, just to make this $400, I'm extremely risky. I'm using $1,000 at 33x leverage, turning it into $33,000. Understand how this works? So now we want to see if we can get above the 50-minute 200 moving average, and we did that. We're just too far away from the 21. This tells me I could begin to start to take the thinking of taking some profits here on the swing trade. I did plow through the 1 hour, though. Do I just keep, so there's the deal. Do I just keep my stop loss barely a break even and hold on for dear life and hope that the smaller time frames pay me? Oh, that way we were at the 30-minute 200 moving average now. Look at this. Wow, look at what a pump, though. We're looking just too far away from the 21-day moving average, folks. This is a bit odd to me. It tells me I should take some profits here. We'll see. They're about to plow through this, though. Massive short squeeze today on the morning, folks. Can we get all the way to 73,000? It looks like we may. Bookmap is screaming big red. What is bookmap? Heat map order book. Think about a heat map is like where you are in infrared goggles. Like if you see a lot of red, that's a person right there. Okay. I bought 19 at Mara at 10. I'm in Mara at 864. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, it went to 32 twice. I should have got my gains. Wow, let's see what's happening here. This is interesting. So we got the move. Wow, the 5-minute did get the model. It plowed up to the upside. And we crossed the 200 moving average, retested it, got the move. Amazing how all the strategies I teach play out so beautifully well, right? So if you stick with my 200 moving strategy, look, you just get in right here off the 200, put your stop below the wick. And you could do a 10-to-1 risk-reward ratio there. That's how I'm able to make $500 off of $1,000. You see? I want to teach you that you don't need tons of money to make $500 to $1,000 a day. You can do this. Let's turn this into a fire clip because this is worth it. Hi, my name is Sam Price, and a lot of people want to learn how to make $500 to $1,000 a day. Is it possible? I truly believe it is if you listen to my trading style and you learn from me. Now, maybe not every day you'll make $500 to $1,000. Maybe some days you'll lose or won't win anything, but maybe some days you'll make $2,000. My whole point is at the end of the week, if we divide it by 7, there's a good chance that we could get you to make $1,000 every week, right? And so how do we do this? You know, what's the idea? Or even up to $5,000. It depends. You can do whatever you put your mind to, friends and family. You can make $1,000 a day, actually, about $5,000 a week if you stick to a strategy, if you have proper risk management, okay? Now, again, I'm going to give you the sauce. Some people won't be able to handle it. Their emotions can't do it. But this is the key, all right? And every day you just take some gains. Like today, this is a pretty nice gain. Should say you would take it. I mean, you could. Is there going to be more? The greed keeps us in trades that we don't need to be in. I might have caught one of the greatest bottoms ever, but that's why I always have the monthly trade open as well. Above 72,000. We just went to a high of 72,167. And now what do? Do I take profits off this trade? You know what? I can start swinging it in to profit here. I kind of like this trade. It's getting rejected by the 200 on the 30-minute. I feel like I've been in this trade for so long that I should just take some profits here. We'll see what happens. They're playing around with this candle here on the top, but a little far from the 21. 4-hour time frame looks strong, though, on a breakout. Let's take a look at the 4-hour. Sometimes you can look at a smaller time frame, and that will kind of cause you to get out too early, and the bigger time frame would have paid you more. I just think 46% is a really big deal. If you got into a trade and you're up 46%, I think it's a good time to take some profits. Again, the 4-hour just hit the 21. It's funny. Once we cross the 21, then we can get the model again. Very interesting times to be alive. I'm going to take profits, all right? And how do I do that? I go to a small time frame, and I move my stop loss into position. I just keep moving it into position. Actually, man, the 1 minute could continue. I'm not going to be greedy here. And I'm going to look to take profit. You got to pay the trader. You know, a lot of people can't sell because they keep thinking there's going to be more. This is going to be the one that makes me $5,000. You know what? If you do that 10 times, you make $5,000. But everyone will hold that trade forever, and then they won't make any money. You see what I'm saying? So you got to learn how to sell. I can do what many, many people can't do. I can sell. A lot of people cannot sell. All right? So remember, you can make $500 to $1,000 a day using only $1,000. If you're very, very, very disciplined and you listen to my models, you watch the 21, you use the 200, join my trading group, go to cryptolifer.com to find out more, okay? You can do this. I can help you. We can teach you the way. It is very possible. It is. And there you go. That's a good fire clip there for the clips. Let's bring that music down so it doesn't blast our ears when I bring it back on up. So why did I just sell? Well, we'll talk about it. Because it's a day trade. And now I'm up $500 almost on the day. It's a good day, you know. Thanks for the wave down 200 and profit at 1,200. A wave down? I don't know if I ever even talked about. You mean rave down? Yeah. He's in profit at $1,200. Thank you. Who made gains on rave, man? And we even gave the trade yesterday, the rising wedge, if you remember correctly. And I'll show you the before and after because people need to see this because it literally is before and after. All right. And I'm going to show you what I said last night and what happened this morning so you can kind of get a gist of what we're doing here. Remember, every single live stream is time-stamped. Very important. Every single live stream is time-stamped. Shout out to the 1,000 beautiful souls here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. 1,100 beautiful people here, man. You people are awesome. Please, let's get that like button smashed up. I appreciate that. It would be very nice of you. Also, no timestamps. Is this my live right here? Oh, yeah, this is my live right now. Of course, there's no timestamps yet. Sean's like, I didn't get a chance. You're still streaming, Sam. And I think today I do have the same shirt on I found last night. Oh, no, I don't. I changed my shirt. I thought I had the same shirt on. I didn't feel so good. Whatever I found there. So let's take a look at what I was looking at. I wanted to see what it was. You can see my sunburn right there. Like, I didn't do the rave. I remember doing a rising wedge on rave. Maybe I just did it in the trading group.
Like 3 days. Since my B-Day, it has gone on an absolute tear. And it's really
There it is. So this is what it looked like. Rave could continue to the upside and go on a tear on that 1 minute on the 1 hour time frame. And next thing you know, it did exactly that. Like the next there did. It basically hit the target too. I said 1050. It went exactly to 1050. This is craziness. But it did it. And then it made a flag and then it did it again. So again, if you come to my trading group, I'm going to give you the sauce. Dude, I look so burnt right there. Anyway, I look tired and burnt. Burnt to a crisp, man. Giggle doing damage. I love Giggle. It was so volatile the last time, though. I got to get rid of my old... And the sweetest oil, baby. That juicy oil. Giggle doing damage, somebody says. And we got to get back into the top-down analysis in a second. Giggle like Google. It's a free school by CZ. All right. Wow, it's up again. It was just $22 and it's now back to $40, doubling up. I'm telling you, man, if a lot of people believe Bitcoin's bottomed, I believe there's a 90% chance that we bottomed. Why? You got all these people saying we're going lower. That happens every time we bottom, way lower, 40K, 39K. I believe we could go to 38,000. Like, I'm open-minded to it. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm just going over the facts. The 2-week chart's below the 200 moving average, below the dotted lines on the stochastics RSI. It's usually a really big deal for a move to the upside when it's been that long, right? RSI is in the lowest point it's been. We hit a Fibonacci retracement, okay? We have hidden bullish divergence on the monthly. We've got our first monthly green candle, tweezer bottom, and this will hit 5. That tells me that there's a high likelihood that we have bottomed, folks. I've been buying like it's the bottom. So this is unsustainable. A pump like this is kind of crazy. On the daily, you want to start looking at your 1 hour, your 4 hour, and you can see you're just too far from the 21-day moving average. Now, could it continue to rip? Maybe. But I see bearish div, and I would look at the 4 hour now. I'd pull a Fibonacci from impulse, and I wouldn't touch this thing till it retraced back to the 618, or it went somewhat sideways here. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking at here for BTC. Yeah, bottom in the next few hours. Lambo or 5 years of insurance. Priorities. Exactly, man. Exactly, Lambo, dude. You can always sell the Lambo and then use it for insurance. You know what I mean? You know, not sure if you said 90% sure, 51% maybe. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a long time. When my subconscious mind speaks, it speaks. My subconscious mind is telling you we're 90% that we bottom, not me. Consciously, I'm just like you guys. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no clue. I'm a regular trader that just lives day by day. But my subconscious mind is the Sammy Price that I've back-ended. I basically sat here for days on end, thousands of days without a day off. And my subconscious mind can basically tell us what's likely going to happen. 5-day chart gets above the 200 moving average and closes the candle there. We have ourselves a pretty big chance. Could still be a bear flag. What if we get tight here and we dump? It could still be a bear flag down to 35K, folks. I'm open-minded. I'm not saying there's still a 10% chance I'm wrong. You see? Hey, see what I did there? 2-day chart looks pretty good to me. I like it. 3-day chart is in the cup and handle breaking out, showing signs of life. And then there's the daily. And last night, remember when I said the daily looks like it could be doing something interesting? So we're going to get rid of that bear flag for now. We definitely breached the trend line. We broke out on the bigger time frame. We definitely got... I showed you this cup and handle for many days. I showed you this shoulder, head, right shoulder. I showed you this higher low. I told you that was probably a good place to jump into Bitcoin on the higher low on the daily. We were long here, right? We've been long on this stuff, on this breakout. I showed you the cup and handle and said we're likely going to break out. I even showed you a fractal that says we're going to rip. And see the gap in the VRVP? When these get tight, we pump up to the 200 moving average. 12 on the 22, look, up to the 200. Tight, you know, look at this. This is oversold and ready to blast. The 12-hour and the 22 both reset pretty nicely. And so I'm telling you, man, this looks like a pretty big move on the bigger time frame. We're at 72K, and it looks like we may go higher here. So what I'm looking for is this consolidated flag to continue to rip. Same thing here on the daily, and this is what we talked about yesterday. We talked about, can the daily make this ascending triangle rip up to the 200 moving average? That's $84,000, folks. When we get into the 80s, they're going to freak out. The bears are going to freak out. The people that thought they were going to get 40K are going to, a lot of people are not buying Bitcoin right now. They're like, oh, I'm going to get it at 40,000. You don't know that. You don't know when Bitcoin's going to rip. The best move is to DCA. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but the best move is to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. That's it. There's no other way. Look, this trade's going to continue to moon. Like, Sam, why did you sell? It's mooning. All right, I still got the monthly trade open. It's okay. It's okay to sell and let the price action continue to go. You know that, right? It's completely fine to do that. You're going to be okay. Look, you could sell into this candle, that candle, that candle, whatever candle you sell in, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Look at the 1 hour is breaking out, though. And it was false move Monday, but the 1 hour says it can go the whole length of this pole now. All the way back to this high at about, what, 74,500? No, it even says higher, 76.5. Remember, we have to break above, and I'm going to show you the daily right now. But, dude, this is strong. This is a very strong move to the upside. 3 white soldiers bouncing off the 200 moving average. This candle closes in a minute and 38 seconds. So the 1 hour, we get a monster close here. They are flash. They are mangling these shorts here to the upside. Shout out to anyone that took the call. Who's up in gains with the lifer? Who watched the live stream and is still in the gains? All right. We're in 20 days downtrend. 40K is just a target. Honey. Which heading do you put the most weight on against the macro bullets? The 200 moving average. I DC every day. Top of the market over timing the market 100%. 40K coming this year almost 100%. See, people that say that are nuts to me. I've never said stuff like that. I do this every single day and I never say anything is 100%. Dude, we could get hit by a meteor tomorrow and the entire world could change. The fact that people think they know the future is insane to me. You keep your head on a swivel one step at a time. I always tell people it's like being in war. You know how you're going to get taken out? No, you don't. You have no clue how they're going to take you out. You have to prepare for all the different ways in which they could get you. You know what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, I'm guaranteed to get hit with a bullet from the left side. So I'm never going to look to the right because no one's ever going to hit me from the right side. That's like saying it's 100% we're going to 40K. Don't you understand? That's like telling yourself you know when you're going to get hit. You don't know when you're going to get hit. You don't know how you're going to get hit. You have no clue. Take a deep breath and say, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Try it. It's actually pretty cool not to be a know-it-all. I'm telling you, be a humble person. Say, I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. It's okay to take it one step at a time. The problem with traders that have been in 2-3 years, they have to tell everyone what's going to happen to price action. It's definitely going here for sure. Because the adrenaline rush when they're right is just too much for them to, so they have, and then when they're wrong, who cares? No one, if you're not that big of a trader like me with 100,000, no one's going to call you out anyways. You can say whatever you want when you're like, when you got 100 people following you on X. You know what I mean? Please do some TI and SanDisk. The thing is soaring and tokenized. Want to put livers onto the power of these tokenized stocks. 30x in a year. Really, that's crazy. Did we pump last Monday too? Been long since yesterday. 70K and some change. Yeah. Bitcoin rainbow chart also shows it bottomed. Yeah. I've called the bottom 3 times now. I think people should start listening to my indications as a trader more than any other indications. Like I have publicly done it. And again, here he's with the sauce, but I'm just telling you the history of me. I've publicly called the bottom. That's what I'm really good at. Like other traders are better at making, multi-million-dollar leverage trades. I'm not there yet, but I can definitely call you the bottom, and I could put hundreds of thousands of dollars in at Bitcoin at the right time. So I buy spot heavy duty, and that's what it is. I've acquired dang near 4 or 5 Bitcoins. So lifer, you're the man. So much wisdom. Thank you. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Please repeat that. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Please. Nobody is a know-it-all here. All right. I wanted to short, but did not want to go against Samuel. I'd rather lose with the lifer than be right. Well, you would have been right, because if you had shorted, you would have been. 99 never admit when they're wrong. They just pretend they never got it wrong and move on. 100%. 100%. Last night you saw me lose my trade. I tried to call the long. I got hit. Or did 2 days ago on the, during the. I said we don't go above it. This was the top. And believe it or not, it was the top. Good for you, man. Thank you, kind sir. Much obliged. Full of appreciation and gratitude. Love the channel. Love the vibes. Love the people. Keep it up, brother. Respect. Let's go. God bless you and the welders out there. And my peoples, man. My hardworking tradesmen. I sniff, no one sniffs bottoms better than me. I'm the #1 bottom sniffer, man. Straight up. And I also know when to sell. I mean, previous resistance there. Let's get back into the top-down analysis. So you saw a live trade today. Look at 77.7. Look at 777 there. 711.77. I love it. Remember this drag? Just like so, I would look for Google to go sideways or come back down to the 200 moving average. I do this to 100 assets, and then I trade the ones that give me the best setups. It's really simple stuff. And I'm just more consistent. That's all. That's the only difference between me and most people. They're like, how come I'm not as successful as this guy? How come I didn't buy a Lambo like this guy? Well, you just weren't as consistent as me. It's that simple. It's just that simple, folks. If you work 7 days a week for 5 years straight, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be in the top 1%. Like you're going to outwork. I mean, who else does that? So ask yourself, who gets the most money? The people that work the hardest and scale the best and also have a mindset, right, to bring in wealth. So, and then your actions do, no one gets paid for, there are passive ways to make income. Like I can make money on Airbnbs and stuff. I'm not there every day. And I can have people manage them for me for a percentage. And I don't have to do anything but collect the money. And then every once in a while, I'll step in and say, hey, this isn't one the way I liked. And I have that refined, detailed to make sure it's just the way it's got to be, Wow, first time seeing a live stream with regular subscriber could chat. Really? Anyone could jump on in, Barrow. I know nothing but the fact about ignorance, dude, and I talk to you guys. That's another reason why people say the channel does well. I interact with the chat more than anybody else in the entire crypto world. Also self-employed, so insurance is solely him, not employer, 100%. Yeah, no one buys my health insurance. I have to pay for it. If you work for someone, you get health insurance. That's great for you, but not, I have to provide my own health insurance. Wow, Marcus, you just don't stop giving these gifts, man. You're so blessed. Wow, first time seeing a live show. That's awesome. I know nothing but the fact about ignorance. I love it. Because, that goes, I know nothing but the fact about ignorance and beginner's mind. My good friend Wes, God bless you, Wes. I miss you, bro. He made a great album. He called it Beginner's Mind. Dude, this looks bullish to me. Previous support is resistance. This looks nice. I like what's going on here. Anyway, I want to do the top down again and reset my mind. It's something about my mind's a little jumbled right now. Let me just redo the top down. I'm so sorry if I'm repeating myself. My OCD makes me do this every single, I don't know if it's whatever I don't want to label. My consistency and detailed nature makes me have to do this every single day over and over again. So again, we breached a trend line. I showed you every time we breach a trend line on the monthly, we were gone. That was the end of the bearish tones. And look, we were bearish from November 1st, 2021 to January of 2023 or December of 2022. So it was basically just a year. And look, we started dumping here and you could say we kind of got to our high there in July. And so in 3 months, we're going to hit a year, May, June, so that's how long the bear market's run, man. 2-3 more months, maybe to 58,000. It's looking pretty interesting. We got Big Red on Bookmap above us there saying they're going to take them out at $73,100. All right, so the first thing on the monthly looks interesting. Then I'm going to delete that because we don't need that once we move forward. The 2-week chart is above previous support as resistance. We've gone over this many times. And it's at a 618 Fibonacci or 786 Fibonacci retracement where it bounced off of, which we know was a key area. Bitcoin always bounces off the 786. Look at the last bull run. Where did Bitcoin bounce? Exactly. Right there is the low. Look, basically really closer on the 786 Fibonacci level. So someone would say, well, that wasn't the impulse, Sam. The impulse is this whole thing. And the 786 is sitting at 40,000 and we have to go to 40K. We may. And even though I'm telling you that there's a good chance we bought them, it's okay. We may go to 40K. I'll have a bunch of Tether deployed at that point into Bitcoin. So I'm keeping Tether on the sidelines. I've told my students that. I've been trading Bitcoin leverage. I've been buying Bitcoin spot and I've been stockpiling Tether for when things change. I really have. So look, I keep, 192,000 here and almost 80 grand of it right now is sitting in Tether, man. I'm not playing around. Like, I'm showing you real money. No one else does that. Nobody else does it. I don't see anybody else do what I just did. Show you their real money. They're either afraid to do it. And again, there are security issues there. I get it. But I'd rather be transparent to you and pray to God for safety. And always stay strapped too. So, hey, never catch me slipping, man. Not in the pool, not in the bathroom, not in bed. Like, every night I tell myself, if you have it, it has to be ready. Yeah. Either you're ready to go or you're not. Like, there's no, like, you can't be in between. Another thing, man, kids get mauled by dogs all the time. What if you're in a park and a pit bull runs up on your 3-year-old and he goes to bite him? You got nothing on you. What do? I mean, you could take something out. You know, you could do whatever you want, but there's a good chance that you get the dog off your kid and the dog could go to your jugular. The dog could kill you. And I've been seeing pit bull attacks all over the place. That's another reason why I keep myself protected, because what if that was the last chance I had? What if the dog came running at my kid and I had one shot, one chance? You know what I'm saying? I'm not again, I love animals. I would never, but you know, I love my kids way more. So I just want to put some things out there that people don't think about. They think of all this different stuff, but there's a lot more out there than you realize. And as a father, you need to be prepared for anything that could happen to your children. You can't say, oh, I didn't know. Oh, if I only had. I don't want to be that guy. So I am always, keeping myself consciously protected there. The weekly breached, I like it. We just want to make sure we close another. We close this. That's 3 white soldiers. 1, 2, 3. And now we have what's called a reversal pattern. And that looks beautiful, like a beautiful W. It really does. 5-day chart just has to breach and get above the 200. And that will also be a solidification of a move. And then here we are on the daily. We got this idea too here that the daily's going to break out. Head to the 200 out of this. It's kind of an ascending triangle. Almost a bull pennant, really. But it's got ascending triangle vibes. I see a big move here. You enter here. I truly believe you could enter this trade right here with a stop below the point of control. Even the moving average is there, right there. I guess you can't get below the point of control, but you can get pretty dang close to it. I believe this is a viable trade. You're going to bounce up to the 200 moving average. It could take, 5, 6 days, 7 days. April 20th, and we're sitting at 86,000. Imagine if we hit 86,000 on AB. The bears are going to freak out. So the bulls, we can handle a dump to 40K. We understand, we know, and we have capital to deploy. The bears, though, they're going to get wrecked if we go up to 86. They're not going to handle it. So the bulls can handle a dip. I don't think the bears can handle a rip. Because if you're overly bearish right now, you're convinced we're going to 40,000. Like, you're so stuck on it that you can't think of anything else. You are just like, it's going to 40K and that's it. And that's just not the way you want to be. I'm sorry. It's just not how you want to do it. Taking another shot called Be Well. Doing what I can to be well. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, one bad news for Iran U.S. We below 70K. He only slipping on the pickleball court. That's funny. That's funny. Sam, you raised the bar for financial streamers everywhere. You're making the space better with your example. Thank you. I appreciate that. Someone said the pump is over. I believe it is. I took profits. It's around that 72K region. Okay. But I like this daily. I like what I'm seeing on the daily. And again, I've talked about this being a cup and handle. They call me Sammy Cup and Handy for a reason, folks, because I use the cup and handle more than anyone else in the world. And if you even took my cup and handle idea, you would have made money. Entry was 67,000. We went all the way to 73K. I mean, that's a $7,000 move for Bitcoin. And I was all over this. And you could even say, and I showed you the inverted. Right? And that made the measured move. So if you just trade simple patterns, yeah. Vegetable prices are about to rise at 30 days. It's not good, especially that's going on. It's not good for the markets, and it's not good for Bitcoin. No worries, man. Thank you. Appreciate you telling us. Sold my Mara at the top for a gain of 57.20 today. That's awesome, bro. That's great. I hate salad anyway. I love salad. I'm a big salad guy. I always have a salad. I always like to have salad. You're supposed to eat salad at the end of the meal because the roughage puts everything through, right? You don't eat salad at the French eat salad at the end of the meal, don't they? I read that in a magazine when I was 10. Is it true? So the 22-hour time frame looks like it could break out. The 12-hour time frame looks like it could break out. They're kind of in their little cup and handles too as well. I could say, okay, it's 50-50. It could go either way. I'm with you on that. And so, yeah, I mean, we get news about the war that's weird. I mean, we don't. So fine, we could dump down to 57. We could dump up to 86. It does have symmetrical triangle vibes. And then here we're on the 4-hour, which to me, so if you lose the 4-hour 200 moving average, we'll short a bear flag on the 1 hour. If we stay above it, there's no reason to short the market as far as I'm concerned. So I would not short unless the 4-hour loses the 200. I really wouldn't. Some could say, well, this could be a shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. We might be making a complex head and shoulder. And I'm like, okay, I'm willing to believe that's possible. I'll project that in my mind and keep it open. If we fulfill that puzzle piece, then I'll take it. But for now, no. And then here we go. And then we back to the 1 hour. So I was right to sell that trade, right? Because we were just too unsustainably away from the 21-day moving average, right? I still feel like we're going to have to hit the top of the range before we're going to have to come all the way up to about 73.6. And that's where Bookmap is screaming. We're going, like, in there, you can map them together. Liquidity's up there at 73,000. That's where Bookmap says we're going to go. So they match pretty nicely. Shout out to anyone that took the trade with me. Who made a gain live on the channel with the lifer today on a Monday? I usually don't even trade Mondays. I made dang near $500 already. Everyone, I used to make $1,800 at work in 5 days of going there and being there for 9 hours a day and having to commute a half an hour on either end. So it took 10 hours of my day to make 1/5 of $1,800. All right, which is $300, right? Or $350 or something. So I just made a third of what I used to make in a week. And they both got taxed, so it doesn't matter, right? But so I used to make a third of what I just made in a week, sitting here on a Monday morning on a day which I usually don't even trade. Okay, look at all the 333s and all the people that make gains. That's what separates this channel from all the other channels. A lot of the other channels I watch, they're already in the trade when they show up. And they're like, look at my wins, That's great. No worries. They did it. God bless them all. But this is where we show you how to trade live every single day. And that's what separates the channel, because we teach you how to do it live every day. And I show you my strategy over and over again. Join the Discord. Go to cryptolifer.com to find out more. All right. You can jump on into the Discord any day. I'm always here. All right. I'm always here. $99 for a month, $270 for 3 months, and only $1,000 for the year. Again, a college credit, one college course is like $1,200, $1,500 at a high-end school, maybe even $5,000. And it's just one credit, and you got to get 50, 60, 70 of them. So my thing is this, man, get an education while you can. I use this, dude. I went to St. John's. I got a degree. Okay. My sister was a lawyer. Okay. This money that I figured out how to make off of trading surpassed a lawyer's salary, a doctor's salary. I told you I had 2 lawyers working for me. One guy went to Yale, one guy went to Harvard. They were working for me. I even found out kind of what they were making a year. One guy was making like 500. One guy was making like, I don't know, 4 or 6. To me, I'm not trying to be rude, but anyway, so I'm going to be quiet over that, but I'm just, So can we make a move here to 70? So go after your dreams. Become who you truly believe you should become inside. Is God speaking to you? God said, Sam, you need to talk. You need to get on this mic. You need to be out there. And inside of myself, I said, I need to get out there, man. I was working a night shift, not talking to anybody. I worked a night shift from 31 to 36 years old, folks. I was stored away. COVID ruined it all. Maybe 31 to 35. I guess around 35 and a half, I started getting out. And then I worked in the day for about 2.5 years. Yeah. You hiring, I'm looking. We're always looking for someone. We're looking for an AI intern, someone that loves AI, knows it really well, and wants to just get close to us. You'll be able to sit with me once a week, and I think that's, I'm sorry to say, I may sound pompous and rude here, but that's worth, to be able to sit with me once a week, I think is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So I believe, yeah. Strive to not to be successful, rather to be of value. Yes. Like I saw one guy the other day, he's really rich. He made it off of trading. And he goes, I'm going to start doing a free channel where I teach. I've made enough now. And my mind said, that's not how you do it. You give it away for free first, then people pay you. So I started the Gary Vaynerchuk way. You create value. I started, before I even turned on a paywall, everyone, I'd been live streaming for 2 years for free. You know? Sam, you're offending my measly 100K salary. I'm feeling poor. That's okay. That's an angst. Dude, I see people pull up in yachts that are worth 10 times my net worth. Yesterday, I went by a bunch of boats. A guy pulled up in 500 engines, and he waved at me. And I said to my wife, I said, that boat's worth more than my home, or about more than my house. And I felt poor, dude. I went by mansions on mansions that you wouldn't believe, and I felt poor. I'm being honest. So it's all relative, dude. You're rich compared to a lot of, you know how many people never made 100 grand in their life? So remember that. You're rich beyond your measure. So look, yesterday we went by these houses. Look at these mansions, dude. Look at this mansion. That's like 10,000, 12,000 square foot home here. Look at the size of this guy. He's got the pool. He's got the dock for the boat. Dude, these are worth all, this is worth my, this is all, I'm not even, this is worth more than I'm worth. You know what I mean? Maybe I could afford that one, but I have to sell everything I have to do it. Every one of these houses is in the 2, 3 million, some of them in the $4 or $5 million range. So there's people out there that make me look poor, man. And I see them every day. Look at the size of that house. Like, that's insane. Look at these homes. And they're all multimillionaires living next to each other. Look at them. It goes on and on. There's thousands of these all around Sarasota Bay. So you go out to Sarasota and you just step out on a boat and you're going to feel poor, man. I got angst yesterday. I was like, man, I gotta hustle harder. I'm not working hard enough. My mind's like, well, how can you work hard enough? What else can you do? And I'm like, I don't know, but I got to figure it out. So I'm waiting for the 1 hour to make a flag here and for us to trade it in about 6 hours tonight. So we got the initial pump from last night. We made the trade last night. We hung out. I got out. And now I'm looking for this big gainer here. I'm looking for this to break to the upside. And that means somewhere tonight around 6, 7, 8 o'clock tonight, Bitcoin should be poised and ready. You know, we have 8 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 7 o'clock. We'll have 8 hour, 1 hour candles. And how do you know that for sure? Just hit shift and go sideways. And look, 7 bars, 7 hours. Now, could we just dump? And could they take us down? Yeah, anything could happen. Maybe this is kind of a head and shoulder. They dump us. If that happens, we'll short the right shoulder to here. So the two trades I see are possibly shorting a right shoulder or a descending triangle, or longing the flag. And I don't see, and again, if you want to scalp right now, fine. He said, I could care less about money stuff. Freedom is the goal. Real freedom. Yeah, once you have real freedom, though, you're freedom to buy any house you want, right? Yeah. Like, those people have more freedom than me because they have even more access than I do, right? They could pull their boat right up to their house. I have to go rent a boat or hang out with my friends at a boat, which is fine. I'm actually super appreciative of it. But I'm just saying, they're freer than me. They can wake up and jump on their boat. Like, say I have a really busy day where I need to work, all day. I have meetings at 3, meetings at 4, there's live stream, and I only have 12 to 2. I can't really go to the beach or go boating because by the time I get there, it's a half an hour. But if I had a boat right outside, I could get on it and go out for an hour and a half. Bring it right back in, be refreshed, feel the breeze, maybe go to a sandbar, chill, and then I'm right back doing my 3 o'clock meeting. So, yeah, Ben Mala's a baller too, man. You see the size of Ben Mala's house? He has the biggest house in Tampa. It's insane. I just, when someone's got more than me, I figure they bossed it out. They worked harder. They figured out something. I take it as an inspiration. Can I get there? I don't take it as a hit. I don't get into the material things. It's cool. There's just stuff you can have in this world, but you can't take it with you. Once you have a true connection to God, material things is just a game, man. It's just like the board game on Monopoly. You're just playing games. Where did humble Sammy Cup and Handy that drives an Escalade went? You're talking about, well, too much lately, Sammy. No, I'm not. That's just not true. You're interpreting in your own way. So you have your own interpretation of me, and there's nothing I can do about that. Yeah. I lost my mother on Thanksgiving. She died in front of me. Nothing will matter, really. No material good. I don't even have my Rolex on. Like, I'm not saying, look at me. I don't care, man. If you think I'm that materialistic, then you're lost in the sauce. I'm getting so much fiat, I need to put it places. You see what I mean? When you get as much fiat as me, you got to put it somewhere, man. You know what I'm saying? And then people that don't have fiat call you materialistic because they don't know what it's like to have the problem of having to buy things. I have to buy stuff. You know what I mean? Because if I keep it in the dollar, it's going to go down the tubes. So I don't have a choice. You judge me because you're not living my lifestyle. It's nothing I can do to show you that. All right? And if you don't understand that I still believe that material things don't matter, then yeah. The show is about wealth, and it is about financial freedom, and it's about getting out of the rat race and becoming wealthy. That's what this show is about. It's about, finding your way. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. I'm just showing you how I did it. Okay? Ben Mala and his people. I love Ben Mala. I think he's awesome. I've been watching his show for years. I actually, got to talk with him recently. He was awesome. Nice guy. Most very wealthy are a slave to the dollar or assets or whatever they cherish. That's why you got to cherish God first, and you'll never be a slave to your material assets. If you don't have God first, you will become a slave to your material assets. 100%. The second I don't put God first, I will lose everything I have. Don't you understand? The only reason I have what I have is because I could put God first. God saved me. I was struggling to start a business. I was struggling to use my mind. Yeah, the Lambo is a good spot to park. Yes, I parked funds in there because it's better than the dollar. 100%. See, this guy's thinking. Yeah. Sam, thank you for all the trading and life knowledge. I really appreciate it. God bless you, man. So, that's what almost everybody should be saying instead of knocking me. You know what I mean? They should be using gratitude every time they're here on the show because I'm here every single day. Sam, you have more wealth than any of those guys. You have a beautiful family and you have your health. Amen, dude. Amen. Thank you, Honda man. 100%. God does not pay his people in money. God will provide whatever you desire. Yeah. If you have 3 daughters and you're like, I'd love to have a beautiful house and a nice pool for them to play, God will provide that for you. People seem to think that God can't provide, an enriching life. That's just not true. Yeah. Because they brainwash the poor to think that you got to be poor to go to heaven. Like, you know what I mean? You don't have to be poor to go to heaven, folks. You just got to be a loving person that believes in God, and you got to give, you got to be able to give for sure. And anyway, who am I to judge, man? Thou shalt not judge. Exactly. Don't take it personal. Move on. Not worth it 100%. Yeah, let's keep it positive. So we're looking to see this. Again, this could dump and turn into the head and shoulder I showed you, and then we short the head and shoulder. If that happens, something over here like this. Or we get the bounce. What a perfect sell. And why did I sell? Because I sell whenever we're too far from the 21-day moving average. So yeah, today the 15-minute, you want to see it stay above the 200. So I'd be using your 15-minute and the 1 hour today. There's the time frames you need to focus on, in my humble opinion. Or that they're not need, but they're the ones that should help us the most. Could even take a fib from this wick here. Seems like we could bounce off the 618 right there or the 786. And what we want to see is we want to see price action dump. And again, remember, I told you this yesterday. We buy when we're near the 21. We sell when we're away from the 21. We buy when the stochastics are low. We sell when the stochastics are high. When the stochastics are low below the dotted line, you're near the 21. When the stochastics are above the dotted line, you're away from the 21. That's how you use stochastics RSI in conjunction with the 21-day moving average. What I just told you right there is absolute gold. Like if I just said that and walked away for the rest of my life, I have changed your life, even if you don't realize it. It took me years. No one else used the stochastics in the 21 like I did, so no one's combined the two together the way I have. Stochastics RSI with the 21-day moving average. It doesn't get better. You can use this on any time frame. You have to pick the time frame you want to do it on. Certain days, certain time frames will give you a tell though. Like here, this was a descending triangle on the 15-minute triangle. Look, you can see it. It was a descender. If I remove this, that's a descending triangle. They dump 90% of the time, and when they dump straight down. It's funny, right before they ended the deal, we got the dump. And it's like, well, show me the charts and I'll show you the news. That's why we say this, folks, because the charts are going to tell you what's likely going to happen. You don't have to know the news to see. The charts will teach you what the news will tell you. Oh, we dumped because we didn't have bad negotiations. No, we don't, because you're in a bear flag and you're making a descending triangle. It's funny, right? Someone that listens to the news will always justify why the news made price action. Someone that looks at charts will tell you that the charts told them before the news. How come I be so accurate? I read the news somewhat, but I don't live and die by it, and I don't trade the news, man. I trade data. Like when we get data, Yo, today, actually, I saw something that's pretty bad for Canadians, man. And let's talk about it. For Canada. But look at this. I mean, existing home sales, they got building permits month over month, number one, is down huge. So existing home sales, 4 million was forecast. Previous was 4.13. They're down to 3.98. Look at this. Building permits, forecast to just be down a little bit. Previously, they were up. They are down 8% on building permits. Nobody is building, or they're taking that's almost a 10% hit on the building permits in Canada. Their economy is shriveling. They're struggling. They played games with us. That was in the headlines for how long, and then no one even talks about it anymore. It's like Canada was just this small on the radar. No offense. It's just like, beep, let's move on, dude. Like, we got stuff. We got bigger fish to fry. Core PPI and PPI here as well, coming in tomorrow at 8:30. So we're going to have big data tomorrow at 8:30. That's what we want to pay attention to. Nice bounce on the 15. That's what daddy's looking for. And let's take a look at the futures here. And I'm trading on weeks. If you want to jump into weeks, you could be here with me every single day. I'm on weeks all the time. That's how I just won those gains, baby, those juicy gains. And remember, $447 off $1,000. I didn't use 10 grand to make $400. I didn't use 30 grand. Everyone's like, I don't have your money, Sam. I did it with $1,000. And that's why I do this every day. I show you that you can do it with the small amount of money you have. That makes you it's more relatable, right? I could sit there and swing around hundreds of thousands of dollars. Lose 10 here, win 30 here. Sometimes you'd see me make 50,000 and all this stuff. But like, number one, that makes people very jealous of me and gets them upset. I don't want that. I'd rather people see me lose, personally. I have such a good life that when people see me lose, it's better off, which is kind of nuts. Because then they go, okay, he actually loses. He's not just, you know what I mean? I remember, folks, I'm going to say something that may sound strange, but I remember it was about 6 years ago. I was at work. I clicked on a link, and this guy, it was this Asian guy that was like talking about his Lambo, and he wasn't super rich. He had he actually had like a tight garage, and his Lambo was parked in there, and he was talking. Well, he had a Lambo. He figured out how to get one, however he did it. I think he was like a software engineer making like 300 grand a year. Asian dude. I don't remember him. I could try to find him online. And I remember sitting at work and being like, I will never, ever own one of those. Like, that's so out of my league. Like, it was so unattainable. It seemed like in a lifetime that was never going to happen to me. So that's the real reason I bought it, to defy my own reality. Like, I thought that reality could never exist, and now it does. And so what else could happen? You know, it represents my dreaming ability to create a lifestyle and a way of life that I never thought humanly possible for me. Don't you understand? I'm a guy from middle class Boston, where everyone's dad was an iron worker, school teacher, police officer. No one made more than a couple, like maybe 120 grand. A couple guys were contractors. They hit it big. They made a couple mil a year. There was some doctors and some lawyers, but their kids didn't hang out with me. I wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Like, they were uppity, went to nicer schools. I went to Boston Latin, a public high school you had to get into. You know, I didn't go to Dexter or to these, all these big fancy schools in Western Mass, Dearborn Academy and all this, like, you know what I mean? All these Illuminati boarding schools that these rich kids went to, Exeter and all that stuff. I didn't do that. I wasn't in the in club, folks. But now I make more or as much money as the kids in the in club. They still don't accept me. They want to know, whenever I get around the richie riches, they don't understand. They look at me up and down. How did this guy get in? You know what I mean? Who does he think he is? And it's like, you know what? I'm the crypto lifer, man. You can't say nothing to me. You know, I made generational wealth, and I got into a place where you don't think I deserve to be in because you were born into it. You know, I see people, their dad bought them a Rolex when they were 18, $20,000 Rolex. Like, my dad never bought me a watch. My friend gave me a watch for $3,500. My dad told me to sell it. He said, you're broke. You should sell that. My multimillionaire friend bought me a $3,500 watch when I was 24. I showed it to my dad. He said, what are you doing with that? Sell it. My dad wore a old Rolex that was this thin. I'll show you the Rolex my dad at the end of the show if you want. I'll go get it. It's in my. He wore like a $500 Rolex, man. My dad did not care what anyone thought about him, man. I am a little more flashy than my dad. I am, I'll be honest. But I'm an Aries and my dad's a Libra. We're not the same. Aries are a flashy type of sign. We like to flash. That's just an Aries way. We like to look really good. My dad was a flashy dresser. So he was a little flashy in his dressing. He was very flashy in his dressing, but he was a humble man. Very humble man. He drove the same van for 18 years, still had holes in it. He told me, why do I need a new one? He always bought used cars. He never bought new. He always bought like $3,000, $4,000 used cars, and they would last for 5-6 years. He's like, I just get an oil change, take care of the tires, Sam. This is simple stuff, you know? And, yeah, we never had a new car once in my house growing up. Never once did my dad go, did we ever buy a brand new car. My mom got her dad's old Cadillac DeVille, and we had a Cadillac for the first time in like 1999 or something. No, you know, what was it? No, 2005 or 6, I think we got the Cadillac. The Cadillac DeVille, bro. And we had leather. We actually had electronic windows. Like, all my windows were roll down growing up. I never had electronic windows. I didn't even have a dishwasher until 4 years ago. Someone just spit out their coffee. I washed my dishes by hand until I was 38 years old, man. I moved back into my dad's house and they had a dishwasher. But in my dad's summer house, no dishwasher. He never installed it. You wash dishes by hand in my summer house. That's just, no matter. My dad had money to put in a dishwasher. He was afraid of having he didn't want someone in the house. He didn't want to do he didn't want anyone in his house. He didn't trust anybody, man. It was weird. So I did everything by hand. I washed all my dishes by hand, man, until, and now, of course, I have a dishwasher in this house. I didn't have a garbage disposal, folks. I didn't know you could just put the food into the sink. I always put the food into the trash and then I clean the dishes. I moved into this house a year and a half ago, and I had a garbage disposal, and I go, you can just clean the plate right into the, like, that was mind-blowing for me. That's how middle class, lower middle class I grew up. Okay? So, you know what I mean? Yeah, and everyone says summer house. Yes, do you want to know the story between my summer house? Here's the story. My dad was an iron worker. He worked his butt off. My mom was a school teacher. When I was 3 years old, okay, my dad was living in his father's house, okay? My dad moved back with his dad, the house he grew up in, and he lived there with my grandfather, and he took care of him. It was a nice 4-bedroom home in West Roxbury. My dad took care of, like, maybe the taxes and maybe insurance, but he didn't. And so my dad and my dad was making maybe 80 to 90 grand. He was busting his butt as an iron worker, working overtime every day. My mom was making like 60 to 65. So they were pulling in 140 grand a year back in the 80s and the 90s. And they were hard. We're both in the union, and they had no mortgage. And the house at the time was worth 120 grand. It was an 1,800 square foot house in the middle of the woods that my dad bought. So that's my summer house, okay? And it makes me sound rich, but I am not. I wasn't, man. I wasn't. And then when my dad, after a few more years, he moved out, he had to buy his own house. He found another house for like 180 grand, a 2,000 square foot level ranch, no basement. Both my houses were very small homes. I grew up in two very, very quaint small homes. You know what I mean? That's okay. I still had a home. I had a loving mother, man, and a loving father. That's all that mattered to me. I grew up very humble, friends. But my dad was also kind of like, I can't explain it, man. He had something to him that a lot of people didn't. Yeah, he had a lot of insight. He was so close to being a multi-millionaire. Had he just fixed a few things, but he held back. He had some insecurities. He had all these businesses he wanted to start when I was in my late 20s. He's like, oh, we should get this bakery going. We should get this going. He would be so close. He'd look at the place. He'd look at the money. He said, and he'd never buy it. He'd always talk about it, but he wouldn't do it. And I kept being like, and I think that was God telling me, you start a business, Sam, because your dad talks about starting a business every day, but he never did it. So right now we're seeing if we could bounce off the 200 moving average. So that's my story, just in case you want to know. I did have a summer house, and I did have it in a really beautiful place in Martha's Vineyard where only the richest people were. But I didn't fit in with those kids, and I didn't have the money like they did. Okay? I'm the only one person in my family, including parents, who has ever bought a home, right? I always had a dishwasher, but I wash mine by hand. Why do that? What a waste of time now. Now, I wash my dishes for 37 years, so I'm all set. When I put it in the dishwasher now, I feel like I'm on vacation still. To this day, I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I get excited when I see a dishwasher. That's how simple I am. I don't get caught up in this material stuff, friends. I had a good mom that taught me how to love and taught me that love is the number one. That's why I love everybody in my trading group, and I spread love all the time. It's very important. To me, love is the strongest frequency. If you can't live in love, you're going to struggle throughout life. You know, if you have full of hate, criticism, pain, anguish, then that's just the life you're going to live. But if you're full of love, ready to push forward, ready to get it done, I mean, you're going to be in a good spot. So look at this 1 hour, man. We might be giving it all back right here at resistance. Couldn't seem to get, look, resistance. People take profits early here, just like I did, because nobody trusts the market right now. So if you're up, you take money pretty quick. You know. What time are you on? Can't tell for your screen. The 1 hour time frame. It's right there. It says 1 hour. It's right there on the screen. Yeah. Hey, Sam, don't pay attention to the poor-minded people. If they're offended by money, then why are they here in the first place? 100%. To stay broke for the rest of their life? Like, don't you want... Dude, here's the deal. This is how I flip it on people. This is how I flip it on anyone that gets into material stuff. God wants you to progress in everything you do and take it to the highest level you can take it to. If you have a garden, God wants your garden to grow, right? Why would your garden just grow a couple tomatoes and be okay with it? No, you'd want to have the luscious garden possible, wouldn't you? It's the same with your finances. God wants you to have the luscious finances possible. There's nothing wrong with having lush finances, folks. It's just like having a lush garden. Why should your garden be full of weeds and only produce so much? No, man, your garden should be healthy. It should be beautiful. And that's the same as your finances. Your finances should be healthy and beautiful, just like your garden. If you can't understand that, I can't take you where I desire to take you. God wants you to progress in every type of manner, every type of medium that you're in, like whether it's your finances, whether it's your emotional strength, whether it's working on your therapy, whatever it is, working out in the gym. God wants you to be the biggest, strongest guy you can become. Why not push yourself to the greatest limits that God has given you? Use your body to the utmost limit. That's how you praise God. You say, man, thank you so much for this beautiful body you gave me. I'm going to go work it out. That's how you praise God. You see what I'm saying? You don't sit on the couch and eat potato chips and then pray to God. And it's like, my dad always said, actions speak louder than words. You could tell God, I love you, God. Thank you, God. Blah, blah. You could say all you want. Are you living it? Are you living your frequency? It's so important to live the frequency in which you're projecting, man. A lot of people fake it. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. That's why I show up every single day without a day off, to prove to you that I'm so appreciative. I can tell you, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. This is community. And I do say it when I can, but my actions speak way louder than my words, friends. This is what my dad taught me. These are the words my dad said to me every day. Sam, I used to say, Dad, I love you. He goes, don't tell me you love me. Show me you love me by coming home on time. When you say 5 o'clock, you know, you call at 4:30 and say, I'm on my way. I might come in a little late, but I should be there by 5. You don't show up at 6 with no call. That's uncalled for. You don't just show up at 6 o'clock. Your parents are wondering where you are. I was good to my parents. I called them on the payphone. Back then, there was no cell phones. I had to bring some change. And then every once in a while, we wanted to stay a little later. I'd call and say, hey, Dad, a couple kids are going over to this guy's house. You know, is it okay? I won't be home till 7. I completely understand if it's not. Okay, you can go, but just call me when you get there so I know you got there safe. My dad wanted me to call, man. I had a great parents. They wanted me to make that phone call. I'm so blessed because of that. I know a lot of kids... I used to be jealous because they only had one mom at home. She was smoking cigarettes. They didn't care, and they could be out all night long. I'd be like so jealous. You know, Johnny gets the party. You know, he's always with the girls. He's always with the loose girls because, and I never get to hang because I got to be home because my parents cared about me, man. At the time when you're young, you want to hang out with the bad kids that never have to go out, right? They get to stay out all night because no one's asking. They don't have to call. They can do whatever they want. And you think you want to be that kid. But to be that kid means their home life wasn't as good as my home life. And so do you want to be that kid? Right? Exactly. So look, we're going to see. I'm just going to sit here and watch this get tight. I'm looking for the 15-minute to hold the 200. I'm looking for price action to get tight inside this flag. And I'm looking to trade it in the next 4 to 5, I'd say 5 to 7 hours, maybe 8 at the most. And that's why I love trading too. I get into my trade last night. I fought the whole market. I get out. Yeah, I could have shorted it immediately. I didn't do that. I got out and now I wait for my next long. I don't have to be in a trade every second of the day, right? I'm a simple man. That's why I'm wealthy. If I wanted all these nice things and had the attitude, I wouldn't be. I'm confused. But you can have everything, man. We live in abundance. Why are you choosing scarcity? I could either be wealthy or have nice things. I don't understand. I don't get when people cap whatever they're doing in life. Like, there's no cap. You know what I'm saying? My parents never cared. Just give a call and you're straight. You're funny. No, my parents were really, really on me, man. Yeah. Hey, Sam, can you explain how the heat map works exactly? I know the base, but I don't understand why sometimes there are big red zones and the price goes the other way very fast. They're just people with these are just people that have gotten into trades and they could get liquidated there. A whale could come in and move the price, right? And nothing is 100% in trading. That's why. You think it's 100%. It's not. It can't be because nothing in trading is 100%. I'll tell you what, though, it's about 80% likely that you're going to go up. But look, see the red just disappeared? That means someone just lifted an order off the book. Trading is real time, man. It's just like when the ocean hits the sand, it's always moving and changing it. Sand never is the same right at the ocean, right? It's getting pulled, pushed. It's always changing. It's always forming. Same thing with your trades. Exact same story. So these are all just parameters that help you, but nothing is 100%. Your question makes me think you think everything is going to do exactly what it's supposed to do. So you got to use it for a few years, and then you'll realize that, okay, it's not always right, but it's right more than it isn't. If you only use it for a month and it's wrong a few times, then you think it sucks. That's what I love about this. You can camouflage good probability because someone that's only does it for a few times and gets hit off twice thinks it doesn't work. That's where my strength comes in. That's why I make more money than most people, because I can see that over time I'm going to win. They can't because they don't put in the time. See, if you don't put in the time, you can't see the probabilities. You understand? You're blocked from the probabilities when you can't put in the time. My parents were twisted Christmas that ruined a family with their dogmatic false beliefs. They died sick and broke. They were not good stewards. Yes, you can have everything and you earn it. Not from yet. I put the watermark to show the ticker and the time frame on every exchange embedded charts. The watermark is one of the first things I learned from you in January. How funny. Love the frequency vibe. Thank you. Saving money and not spending. It's simple. Sure, I could spend it all right now and live large, but I don't want to. Sam, what's your tick size on Bookmap? I save money in real estate. You know what I mean? What do you need cash for? Like if I'm worth, let's just say someone's worth $5 million. They only need like 400 grand in cash in the bank. You don't need a lot of money in the bank. You just have, you want income producing assets that bring cash flow every week, every month. Sam, I had to relearn how to live as a home was very negative. And as a kid, doesn't grow bigger than his environment until he moves out and find that life is beautiful. My dad also, there were some things that I had to go through. I don't take a single trade since October 10th. Lost a lot of money that day. I got traumatized, focusing on work, so one day I'll come back stronger. So sorry to hear that, man. A lot of people were traumatized by that day. Guys, I'm going to go watch at the end of the stream, I'm going to find I wasn't over leveraged. Remember, everybody? I told you guys not to over leverage. And so when October 10th happened, I lost tons of money in altcoins. I did. I lost probably $500,000 in alts that day, man. I did, man. I lost $500,000. I'm being honest to you guys. That never came back, I got fleeced on those all holds, But you know what? I was smart. I didn't overindulge. I had made... I don't want to say because it's too personal, but let's just say I made a certain amount of my net worth. I took 10% of that net worth and I put it in altcoins. And then I lost about 50% of it. 800 turned into like 300,000. I still had 300K. Had I left it in there, I'd have like 80K right now. So I took the 300K and I did this. And I did what you guys know I did, right? And I've been telling you, and it's been great for the business. I get to use it to promote the business all the time. Even at places, they let me park it, and then I put a little sign. There's these events, they let me park it, and then I put a Crypto Lifer sign in front, and I have my business cards. And people go, is that yours? And I go, yeah, I did it through trading, and then they show up. And so it really helps the business in a huge way. They wouldn't stop to talk to me if I didn't have that sitting there. But I put it up there. It is just, it's just that token of, okay, something's real about this guy. It's not rented, right? It is the real deal. So you got to pivot. That was a pivot point for me. It was very hard to do. All right. It was very hard to do to sell at a loss. Wow, thanks for the honesty. Yeah, Elon Musk tweet back in 2020 traumatized me. Yeah. I appreciate the trans. Yeah, Trump loots us with Trump going, and then Jane Street begs the stable coin and the forced liquidations. Yeah, 100%. It was a grimy move. They saw all the liquidity we had locked up and they went after us, man. Trump warning to Iran ships, yeah. I'm stoked for you, brother. I've been watching you for years, seeing you coming up. You deserve everything coming your way. Thank you so much. God bless you, man. I love people that are happy for me. Those are the people I'm going to hang out with. You're always on point, Sam. I just long Bitcoin long term. 100% that blue sky. Life is not just passing of time. Life is the collection of experiences and their intensity, yeah? So let's take a look. We just got some new news here from Trump. Let's take a look. The fact that I just made $500 on a false move Monday with all the insanity going on lets you know that we stick to the script, we do the right thing, and we just stay humble. I'm focusing on building the future for my kids. Trading was a very small part of me, although I work for an exchange. Relationships, networking, being true to myself and partners. That's the thing. That's why my life is so hard, man. I made it through trading. You can only imagine how much I lost 800 grand twice. I don't think people realize how much pain I've been through to get here. Most people would never have continued to trade. I lost 800 grand twice, folks. Twice. I was at 800,000 and it went back down to like 180 grand, you know? All I had to do was sell and I would have been a multimillionaire twice over, or a millionaire twice over, or at least 1.6, you know? I've been through so much pain in trading, it's insane. I'm lucky I wasn't over leveraged in October 10th. I'm very lucky. Giving up is never an option. Never. Yeah. So I don't care about money. When you've made 800 grand twice and lost it, you will not care about money anymore. You just won't. Like, you'll stop caring about 100 grand. I've lost 100 grand, 15, 16 times. I've lost 100 grand 20 times in my life. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, I'm being honest. Like, a winner is someone who's just lost more than every loser and just kept moving. Don't you understand that? A loser is someone who took my hit and just decided not to trade anymore and went back to work. I refused to go back to work because I got treated so bad by my bosses. I said, I'd rather lose 800 grand and keep fighting than go back to work. Work was worse than trying to than losing and winning. Hey, Sam, happy belated. We're the same age. I turned 43 in May. Still learning to trade. I'm 4 years in. Still unsuccessful, but still showing up. It takes a long time. It takes about 8 years, I think, to become profitable. For me, it took me a long time. Some people are quicker. Some people are better at it. Some people pick up on it way quicker than others. For me, I was very emotionally damaged. I had a lot of baggage. That had a lot to do with why I wasn't a good trader. It got in the way. I needed to clear all my karmatic pains, and all the issues and all the I needed to clear that out of the water because I didn't think I deserved to win. Yeah, man, sun fever stinks, man. It's like you have a fever, but you're not sick. You just feel horrible. All right, we got AI working on the new thing. We're going to show you what's happening in the markets right now. So we sold the local top, folks. If you did it with me, you got paid. Congratulations to take profits. It looked like it keep going, right? The greedy person doesn't sell because they think it's going to keep going. Now, a lot of people didn't sell. Then it came down. Then as it go down, they can't sell either. So look, this is what a lot of you traders did. I know what you did. You took the trade with me last night. You got up and down. When it started coming down, you panic sold it. Or you took the trade with me last night and it started to rip. When it ripped, you thought it could go higher. You got so greedy, you didn't sell. Then when this candle came, you figured, well, I'm okay. And you were so afraid you couldn't get back in, you didn't sell. Then it went, now you're basically barely up and you round trip the trade. And because your emotions kept you stuck. They didn't let you sell here because you were greedy. They didn't let you sell here because you were greedy. Both times you thought more was coming, so you didn't take what you had. See, I've been fleeced and so much has been taken from me. My parents died. My mom died on Thanksgiving. She was taken from me. My mom was ripped from my heart on Thanksgiving, guys. On Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, my mom was taken from me. She was talking to me. She said, am I going to make it? She looked deep in my eyes and said, am I going to be all right? I said, yes, you're just going to have to live with me now. Then they put her in the thing, and then she said, who's coming with me? My son, Sam. My son, Sam, she said out loud. Who's coming in the ambulance with you? My son, Sam, was her last words, man. My son, Sam, were her last words. You think I give a dang about money? You're out of your mind. God is showing you that you can get rich if you go after your dreams through me. God is using me. Don't you understand? God is using me. He's using me. He's using me as a tool to teach you stuff. Don't you get it? I went through this pain for God. I had my life ripped up for God. Don't you get it? I understand why he took my mom the way he did. Like so many people, I'm trying to get through to you. I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to bring you to a higher level of frequency. There's a way, man. So when you lose things like that, you will never care about money like someone that's money hungry is, man. Never. Never. I'd give everything I have for 1 minute with my mom in real time. I'd give it all away, man. I also have 3 kids that look up to me. I have a wife that works for me. She doesn't have a profession. She works for me. Like, if I don't keep going, then they're not going to, what are they going to do? They're going to be devastated. It's not my fault that BitBoy put me on. It's not my fault that I became a multimillionaire. I didn't know that was going to happen to me. I just put my best foot forward every day and things worked out for me. I didn't know I was going to get rich, man. I thought I could. I never knew any of this stuff was going to happen to me the way it did. I wasn't guaranteed to be at 100K subscribers. No one said, Sam, you're definitely going to, here's $5 million, you're going to be rich. Like, so when people hate on me, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. Until you go through what I've been through, you'll never understand. I fell through a glass door. I was bleeding out my main artery. Like, let's get into it. Look at the size of my scar. Look at it. Look at it. Look how close it is to my arteries. I shouldn't be here, folks. I should never have made the money I made. I should never have hit the trade I hit today. I had problems with discipline. I labeled myself ADHD, bipolar, whatever they wanted to tell me. I ate it up. I said I suck. I broke myself down. I said I don't deserve. I talked negatively to myself every day. I stayed inside a room smoking all the time, depressed. I struggled for so long. I struggled for so long in my mind. I couldn't get out of my mind. I could barely do trading because I couldn't get out of my mind. I was trapped in my mind, folks. I was confused, depressed, scatterbrained. All I could do was go to a night shift and at least focus on editing. And I liked computers, and I knew I had a brain, but man, I had a hard time finding my way. I really did. I had a hard time finding my way. A very hard time. I thought I was going to die broke and depressed. At 36 years old, I thought I was going to become a bum, folks. I really did. I thought I was going to end up on the street because I just couldn't assimilate to society. I didn't know I couldn't focus on what job I wanted. My brain, because God had such a beautiful plan for me. But I thought I was comparing my life to everyone around me. Oh, he became a lawyer guy, he became a doctor. My sister did this. Everyone's life was going well. Mine was in turmoil and pain. I was on a night shift, hidden away, working from 7 to 3 in the morning every night, barely talking to people, smoking trees all day long throughout the day, keeping myself, in the zone, in the shades. I turned to drugs and alcohol because the pain of the realization that I was never going to become who I wanted to become became so real, I didn't want to look at myself anymore. I would go weeks without looking in the mirror. Weeks without looking in the mirror. I didn't want to see myself. Go look at me in Remote Chief, man. You could tell I never shaved. I didn't care. Go look at my old channel, man. Go look at me. I still had a belief and a dream, but go look at me back in the day. Go look at Remote Chief, man. You want to hear a story of a guy that transitioned. I shouldn't say, but, changed his life. And yes, I'm on a tangent today. Yes, I'm going hard today. Yes, I may have pushed some people from the stream. It's okay, man. It's 11:56, baby. And look at me now. God is great, 100%, man. This is when I started cleaning up my act. I started shaving, cleaning. But back in the day, man, I still love my life, man. I still stayed positive. I really did. But I struggled, man. I struggled. I really did struggle. I remember the day I got my hair cut and I shaved the hair off. Pretty sure I vlogged it. There I'm with no hair. Would have sworn I vlogged the haircut. There it is, hair growing on my face. Getting a haircut after 3 years. It was tough this day. So funny, right? Wait, hold on. Look at me, man.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Remote Chiefs channel. Today, this vlog is about, you guessed it, my hair. And today, I'm cutting it off. Soon it will be about 3 years since I've had a haircut. I want to have a new fresh look for 2016. I'm a little excited to get my hair cut, but I'm also a little sad. I'm gonna miss my hair. You know, it took me a long time to grow it this long, and I never grew my hair this long.
You're gonna just shave it like, or you're gonna get a design like a D8?
Yeah, I'll definitely get
This is Mark, man. Look at.
Oh, you can get right on the side.
Yeah.
So corny.
You're almost 40 years old.
I know.
Yeah, but you
I'm messing with him. I wasn't gonna get right on the side, but I told him I was. Watch, I'm always messing with people. This is funny.
Right on the side.
That's so corny.
You're almost 40 years old.
I know.
Yeah, but you gotta look young sometimes.
You don't
Change
just
it up.
write it on the side.
Check it out, guys. I'm on my way to the cutting board.
And like just like that, I was a new man. I never had long hair again, man. She did my hair, Cash. She was cool, man. All my hair there. Did I keep any of it? I don't think so. Looks so much better already, right? Anyway, this guy had a lot of excitement. This guy had a lot of ideas, but he didn't understand how to implement them just yet. He didn't know everything, man. I had to go to Jim Rohn and listen to him all the time, and that was what really gave me the sauce. So remember, we sold the local top. For the last 30 minutes since I've been talking about my life, Bitcoin has done nothing. It's ranged between 71.7 and 71.890. It's been in a $200 range for an hour, basically the last 15 to 20 minutes. And that's when I kind of gave you some life lessons, because I'm going to provide life lessons for you inside of the charts, man. And I know sometimes it's intense. I know not everyone can handle it. I know not everyone wants to hear it, but this is the facts, friends. All right? Went from Kurt Cobain to the crypto lifer, man. The fact that you were documenting all these show that you were born to be great. Are you friends with Bill Sam? I always wondered. I have been in and out with that, but struggle with fully connecting with that way. God has been my go-to and people I can really relate with. Are you friends with Bill? Who's Bill? Friends with Bill? I don't know who Bill is, man. Bill Cyclery? That's not who owns it anymore. My man Mark did. Sailor Strata had bought 3,000 Bitcoin since 9:30 market open. Yep. BlackRock bought a big bag today. Yep. Hey, Sammy, how long does it normally take to receive the giveaway? I emailed no reply. You should have gotten it already, man. Yeah, who did you email? CryptoLifers@gmail? I get on my wife. She does it. And I'll be honest, she goes at the baby sometime. Anyway, I don't want to start. I don't want to start. But you don't get it, man. As the CEO, I have to remind every single person in my company of their job a lot. I have to be, yo, did you do this yet? How come you didn't do that yet? Oh, yeah, I was doing this and then I forgot. Can you please get that done, please? You have to constantly, politely remind people that they didn't do their job thoroughly. Almost every day. Someone in my company does something and they don't do it right. And I have to say, hey, man, can you please? Or hey, whoever it is. So I'll make sure it gets taken care of today no matter what. I'm going to look at your name. I'm going to say, why didn't you do it? Get it done, please. She told me she gave it to everybody already. So that's a bit weird. So either you're not emailing CryptoLifers@gmail. Maybe it's CryptoLifer. I don't know. God brought me to the YouTube. Sam brought me to the 99. God bless you, man. Love from India. God bless you. Love to you. So we're looking for this bounce off the 200 moving average. We're looking for a price to get tight inside a flag, and we're looking to trade it later on today. That's what we're looking for, folks. Everything else is going to wait on this this insanity. Okay, I asked for a new Trump warning here. What happened? I love this track. I was born to bang. I was born to rain. I was born to keep it kicking in and get out the pain. It never stopped. Never stopped. Never stopped. Never stopped. What's your TP for your monthly trade? 118,000, but I may try to take it all the way to 170. Who knows? The new Trump warning. You're likely asking for reference about the latest comments of Donald Trump and online news, you know. Trump issued a fresh explicit military warning tied to ongoing U.S.-Iran. The U.S. Navy, led by ships like the USS Abraham, has begun an immediate blockade of Iranian ports and the Strait of Hormuz after peace talks broke down with no deal. Trump warned that any remaining Iranian fast attack boats or vessels approaching the blockade will be immediately eliminated using rapid aggressive tactics compared to how the U.S. forces handle drug smuggling boats. Like, we're going to have a drone in the middle of the earth just blow you to smithereens. He claimed is already largely destroyed. 158 ships lay at the bottom of the sea, and that the U.S. is locked and loaded to finish the job if needed, including potential strikes on Iranian infrastructure like bridges and power plants in one night. This comes on the top of the separate recent warning to China. Trump said if China ships weapons, air defenses, and manned Iran, China is going to have big problems with threats of steep new tariffs up to 50% on Chinese goods. It's now a critical choke point. This follows weeks of U.S.-Iran escalation and fragile failed ceasefire and Trump's long-standing hardline stance on Iran's nuclear missiles. You'll probably care about this ripple effects. Higher oil equals potential inflation, energy sector moves, and volatility across crypto and Bitcoin, often to react to macro risk-off sentiment, while some tokens tied to energy or commodities could see some short-term pumps. This is dominant new Trump warning. New Trump warning. So he's saying he's blocking it off, and he says if you do anything, he's going to blow you to smithereens. All right? We're looking for the 50-minute to hold the 200 moving average. Get a bounce, get tight, and create a consolidation. Let's take a look at SNDK. All right? SanDisk Corp. I used to use them for years. They make the little chips inside the computers. You know, SanDisk, right? Yeah. Wow, they're ripping, dude. $250 just in January, and now they're basically, wow, $895. To me, it looks unsustainable of a pump already, but wow, there's some gains to be had there, right? 3-day chart looks like it could continue up a little more. Your weekly's getting away from the 21. Your daily is kind of in a double bottom there. Wasn't the best. You know, when I look at it like this, it was a fake out pump. Then came back at the pattern, gave you the buy zone, and then they got the rip. The daily would hit the measured move. Says you can possibly get to 1,000, 1,100, and then it's going to tank, man. Then, or at least get a pullback to a 618 on like the 3-day chart. Once the 3-day expands away from the 21-day moving average, you'll start to, you know, maybe pull a fib from here to here, and it might come back down. I'm bullish on boats right now. Will Trump drop a... No. And let's take a look at silver. And look at my, you know, I do gold and silver every single week there on the channel, right? On the macro technical analysis. I looked at silver, wanted to see it stay inside this flag. It gapped down. Why? Well, oil got crazy, and, you know, risk-off assets like gold and silver and Bitcoin just struggled a little bit. You know, what's interesting is... let's look at silver arbitrarily real quick, because like it kind of looks like a bear flag to me. That would send you back down to $50 an ounce. The monthly's out of control. You almost have to pull a fib on the monthly, and it still says it's going to come down to $59 somewhere there and retrace to the 200 moving average, right? I mean, to the 21. 5 days on the 21, which is okay, and you're very oversold. Some hidden bullish divergence in the 5-day chart suggests that that is going to be your bounce area. So then I go to the 3-day and I start looking at it. And again, I'm looking for this thing to break out of a falling wedge. Might come down a little lower. We might come somewhere down to here and touch 66. But it definitely looks like in the long term, like this thing could break out. So like I believe it's a good... I like silver. I have enough of it. If I didn't, I think it would be a good time to maybe buy a little bit of silver. You guys remember when I told you I was going to take my Bitcoin trades and put them into silver on the on Kinesis. Remember? And I was like, I have a feeling silver's going to rip. I was saying that like way before silver ripped. It was kind of crazy. I did put those, I didn't put tons of them, but I did put some gains, and then it ripped. And bang, right? If you try to trade Taco, he will blow your account to nothing. Who's Taco, man? I smell root beer. Yeah, you're funny. Yeah, Trump will blow you're funny, man. I see a bounce. It does look like a bottoming area here on the bigger time frames, the 3-day, the 5-day. As long as you stay above the 200 moving average on the daily, yeah, I see this turning into like kind of an inverted head and shoulder. This is what I'm looking at. Shoulder, head, kind of a right shoulder here, and then we bounce, and then I see this getting tight. Eventually, silver will be higher. They're going to print money, man. So silver goes to 190, but it says it's going to take some time. October 15th of 2026. All right. So I am calling for a bigger move in silver over time for sure. And Bitcoin getting a little bit of a bounce here at 71.9 off this beautiful wick off the 200 moving average. The 5-minute chart of the 200, when the 21 comes into play, I'll keep you guys updated in the trading group as this continues. The NBA playoffs start next week, I think, in the next few days. Shout out to the Celtics, man. All right. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for being here and being amazing. I did go off a little bit today because I need to tell you who I am, and I'm not holding back, all right? Sometimes it's intense. I'm not like everybody else. This is not like every other YouTube channel. I have to be clear about that. I am truly unique when it comes to the way I do this show. And I am real. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And I'm not going to hold back. So if you love it, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you, my friends, are already doing the right thing. Thank you so much. God bless you all. I'm going to call it a day. And I'll be back, man. I'll be back. But we'll watch this closely. Someone said the 50-minute isn't a bear flag. No, it is not. I disagree. But hey, it is what it is. Sammy, please get me back in the lifer group. I'm ready to come back. I took a beating, and what a good lesson it was. Please, please, please. I love you, brother. You could just hit the link and join. What's the problem? Yeah. We'd love to have you back. When everyone leaves, I feel bad, man. They leave, and I'm like, why would you leave? Like, you got it. Yeah, because one day I'm just going to find the coin that's going to rip. And $99 a month is going to seem like absolutely nothing. So pay attention, man. We're always here grinding. Look, the 200 moving average of the 15 is a nice bounce. Be careful. If you don't know how to trade and you don't understand parameters and you don't trust yourself because you don't have the backing of years of doing this, then you're going to get wrecked. Hang out with someone that's been doing this for years if you don't want to get absolutely obliterated in this market. All right? Get an education, folks. It's so important. Look at how we're bouncing off the 200 here on the 15-minute time frame. I love you all. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow for another beautiful live stream. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great.